Thank you for joining us and welcome to Big Apple Mountain Tarot. I'm Mike Rosnack.
I'm Everest Hall. Today we are very excited to be speaking to everybody about the full moon in Capricorn that's happening July 21st at 4:17 Mountain Time.
Which is 6:17 a.m. Eastern and 11:17 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Correct. This is the second Capricorn moon. We are in Cancer season. These Capricorn moons are bookmarking. The first Capricorn moon was early.
Mm-hmm.
This is a late Capricorn moon at 29 degrees, and it sure dang feels like it.
Yes, and immediately after the full moon in Capricorn, the sun enters Leo the next day on the 22nd. So it's this is such an action-packed month. My goodness.
Yeah.
The last video we did, we used a mantra that was lead me into feeling. Why would we have ever wanted to say that?
Yeah.
Because it's been so much feeling.
It's been so much feeling.
So dense. The energy has been so dense that you look back and can't believe that what happened a week ago is not 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just a week.
Yeah. There's we'll explain that. We'll help you navigate this and talk you through it and explain why it feels like this right now and why everyone's going a little insane. Since we made the last video, there's been a lot of changes internationally, nationally,
And huge surprises.
Huge surprises.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of personal revolution for friends and families. A lot of activity.
But let's hang on that word revolution. because
Revolution.
Today is July 14th. Tomorrow we have a conjunction between Mars and Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now Mars represents our drive, our sex energy, our war energy, our passions, our initiation,
Yes.
right? And then Uranus represents revolution. So drive for that revolution. Right?
Drive for that revolution. Now, the revolution, it comes in pulses. Uranus is also Aquarius. It's related to electricity, to technology.
It's a very bubble-like energy, very inconsistent, like packets of energy hitting us.
Pulses of revolutionary action.
Yes. And Mars and Uranus are conjunct Algol.
Algol. Now, we weren't going to talk too much about Algol, but I feel like we need to mention it. Algol's a binary star that is kind of like associated with Medusa.
It's in the constellation Perseus, which
Yes.
is in Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's a three-pointed. It's
It's 3 stars in one.
3-star cluster.
Yeah, one strong, 2 else a weak. Look it up; it's interesting. So Algol is associated with the head. It's associated with Medusa. It's a demon in traditional Sumerian astrology. It goes way back to Sumerian times. And
All you have to know about this is
Okay.
do not look back.
no,
All right, let me
No.
just cut to the chase. Take the action.
yeah,
Do what you must do, right? Find your own revolution. Harness that Martian energy to deal with Medusa the way that you must. This is very much like an 80s song, like an 80s ballad.
Totally.
And in the 80s, rock ballads were often about doing the thing that I must do.
taking it to the
You know?
limit.
Yes, taking it to the limit.
Don't look back.
Blazes of glory.
Yeah.
They sang a lot about glory.
Eye of the tiger.
Yes.
It's not a committee. This energy.
It's not open. Yeah.
No,
exactly.
it's not open to discussion, and we're going to tell you why it's not open to discussion. There's a poor aspect to Mercury during this moment.
Well, it's just starting from the conjunction.
Okay, all right, let's start with
with
tomorrow.
Mars and Uranus. Also, Mercury is in conjunct to Saturn, so there may be hard lessons. Don't open this up to a committee. Whatever you're dealing with that you must take care of, just do it. And from here right on through the full moon, a week from now, Mercury is not going to be so well aspected. Mercury will be, at the time of this full moon, on the 21st, it will be squaring Mars and Uranus in their conjunction. Mercury will also be in conjunct to Neptune. right? So
Right.
that's a lot of fog, a lot of confusion, a lot of illusion. Maybe great for imagining,
Yeah.
but not great for staying grounded in reality. And if we start talking about what we're experiencing, what we're thinking, what we're believing, we might come off as fully crazy. So, and Mercury will also be in conjunct to the moon, which is conjunct with Pluto.
Right.
Very, very, very tricky, very complicated, but my boiled down message for Mercury, for communication, is just keep it under your hat, right?
Keep it under your hat. What you're trying to communicate will not be understood properly, and there's going to be a lot of miscommunications on everyone's ends. So don't
save your
take
energy.
things too seriously that people are talking about. It's a very action-packed kind of willful energy happening right now, and you have to kind of understand that everybody has their own agendas, and it's going to be a little confusing.
Get very ground into your intuition.
Yeah.
And your intuition looks very different from your advice that you might get from your parents,
Totally.
from your children,
Yeah.
from your neighbors.
Yeah.
Just your intuition, and it's no one's business but your own.
That's right. Now, last video I was talking about, I had this crazy idea, which I think was kind of, which makes sense in retrospect, of finding that kind of Cancer point and kind of concentrating on your self-worth and your self, you're placing yourself inside yourself, like this little part here where you're safe and sound, and to strengthen it so you can balance the weight of the universe on top of you, personal, family, money. The structure kind of goes up until it's like, government and universe. But if you get this kind of part centered and you kind of strengthen yourself, you can hold it together. Why? Because you're worth it and you're smart and you're wonderful. That's why.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, find that self-respect. Find that
That's it.
self-love. Find that self-love. And this Capricorn full moon is once again about your life's duty, right?
Capricorn.
Not the work that you go to, you clock in, you clock out. Not that work, but the work you're doing over the course of your whole life.
Your duty to yourself and the world. Only you know what your duty is. Now, this is a full moon, so it's a culmination of stuff.
It's not about planting seeds to expand. It's more about letting go of what's keeping you from your happiness, right? And Saturn is at 19 degrees of Pisces. So this speaks to spiritual development, all right?
Yeah.
And we are in... we're still with our North Node in Aries.
Yes.
Right? So over the course of the rest of this year, it's about our individuation, right? And standing out, and our I amness, and stepping into our sovereignty, which is a most Leonine trait. Now that we're moving into Leo, it's about stepping into your sovereignty, taking what is rightfully yours, steering your life.
The good king. Now, I think if...
Yes, he doesn't rule by force.
No.
Yeah.
No. Now, the good king, like kind of like the big idea of the good king, is the good king's full of self-confidence and goodness and is centered in themselves. And because they're self-confident and have self-respect, they're able to share with their subjects.
They're grounded in radiation and attraction. They
lift them up.
Yeah, they don't... Yeah.
This is the fun thing about the Cancer Leo change. Now, Cancer is cardinal energy. Leo's fixed, so there's this big shift. And there's this like kind of tenderness with Cancer and a kind of a persnickety kind of way you bring things in to nourish yourself. You got to be really careful the way you nourish yourself. Don't listen to garbage and don't watch nonsense.
Don't eat the peanut shells.
Don't eat the peanut shells. They'll poison you. The carbon's bad. So, if you cut yourself kind of centered in your emotional space, then you can give back to everybody else and you can bring everybody up and you can raise everyone up the way a good king would raise up his subjects in a happy kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Revolutionary forces.
Yes.
Individuation. Healing, though, because our North Node is conjunct Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And it's also conjunct Eris, and Eris is the feisty street fighting
Eris,
feminine force, feminine feisty but revolutionary, right?
Yeah, Eris-
So it's about fighting for your own healing.
And what's right? So Eris wasn't invited to the wedding and threw the golden apple out for the fairest. We all know the story. It's not Maleficent, but it is Maleficent.
It is Maleficent.
Yeah,
Right?
it is that. But it's that
Angelina Jolie. Yes.
what is right? And why can't I fight for what's right for me and for what I need and what my basic human needs are universal?
You can, as long as you don't open that up to a committee.
No, you can't open it up to a committee.
When I say fight for what is right, I'm in no way speaking violence.
No.
This is not about violence. No. That will get you nowhere.
No, it actually
It's about doing the right thing.
Taking
yourself where it's warm,
Uh-huh.
where you can grow. And if that means suddenly and with great reaction and force, and it's going to surprise and upset people, that's
okay.
their stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
That's okay. So starting from right now.
Right now
And through this full moon, this conjunction between Mars and Uranus, it might shock, upset, surprise, even scare. It might really look scary.
Yeah.
And let's be very real. From now through 2026, we're going to see massive changes. It's going to get very scary, very wild.
Yeah.
But it won't do anyone any good if we're just screaming back into the collective.
Yeah.
If you're born with a planet in any fixed sign from, let's say, 25 to 29 degrees of the fixed signs, you will feel this energy.
Yeah,
Right.
and that includes your ascendant, your moon, and all that. This is going to be affecting a lot of people.
It already has,
Yeah.
and it already will.
It already has, and it already will, and you're feeling it. But it's this fixed energy here. I'm sorry. You go.
No, I was going to just say that Venus is in a beautiful trine to Jupiter, and that's bringing in expanded ideas of just things that we've never even dreamed about before are suddenly becoming a reality. We're going, oh my God, there's this new thought. I just didn't even consider it.
Now, Venus isn't just love and food. It's also your personal values. It deals a lot with money.
And relationships.
So, there's this, although things are kind of tight and it's getting really consolidated and compact, the energies are all kind of beneficial if you can center yourself and kind of roll with it and be independent and individual. And
don't get spooked by all of these like superstitious woo-woo, like this might happen. For the most part, this is very well aspected full moon.
Yes, it is.
Even though it's conjunct Pluto,
right,
which has the tendency to shock, upset, and reveal secrets.
Right.
The Sun is also in a trine to Neptune. Mars is in a trine to Pluto. The Moon is in a trine to Mars. The Moon is in a trine to Uranus.
Yeah.
It's all for the greater good. We're going someplace unlike anywhere we've ever imagined, even. And we're starting to live, really, in a fourth dimension.
Right.
Right? Beyond the heavy 3D Earth that
so
we've
it feels a
always
little
known.
uncomfortable, but that's okay. Now, the outer planets, which rule our society, those are in retrogrades. So Pluto's in retrograde, right?
Neptune is.
Neptune,
Saturn
Saturn, everyone but Jupiter.
Yes.
So Jupiter is really helping us kind of benefit, our Venusian energies, our love and values, and then the structures on society and deconstruction, reconstruction, all those are being reviewed. So our society and our world is being reconstructed, but personally we're being supported and engaged.
As long as we could grind ourselves into our heart space and futurism, and not get caught up in looking back, right?
No.
Right? Because if we're looking back, we're entertaining the old. Just keep marching forward. Keep moving forward.
Keep marching forward.
And keep thinking about your life's work, Just make it very personal, right?
Yeah.
Pray to yourself, that inner God.
Yeah. It's there.
Right? It is there.
It's there. You know it's there.
Be yourself. No one else is going to do that job for you.
No. We're all called on to ourselves to support ourselves this year. It is this I am year. I am whole. I am happy. I am self-sustaining. I am
Spiritually
happy.
healthy too.
And I can help everybody else.
Yes.
I am helpful. I am supportive. I am. It's wonderful.
Burn your ego up. Don't get too grounded in your I amness either. Just burn your ego.
Yeah.
Yes. But think about spiritual development. Right?
Saturn is in Pisces. The structure of the ocean, it can be contained.
Yeah, and Saturn's really softening that ground too for when our North Node backs into Pisces, which will be a year and a half of us saying we're focusing on the spiritual, we're focusing on the spiritual.
Right. Because we've done all this terrestrial work this year. It's a very terrestrial, wood dragon space.
It's a highly uncomfortable time, and that's okay because it must mean that we're growing. Really?
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah. Shall we move to tarot?
Let's do tarot. I would love to do some tarot, Mike. I think we'll pull. Let's get the tarot cards here.
Would you like to pull?
I think 2 cards for each element.
Oh, so 2 cards for each element. Okay.
All
right.
I'm kind of do it big.
So starting with fire, so that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius.
Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, my beautiful Leo, would you please cut the deck, sweetheart?
Okay. There you go. The answers lie here.
Okay. So we're going to pull 2 cards for fire signs.
This is for the fire signs. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
2 swords.
Oh, interesting.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's start with our wonderful King of Swords. Here we have a king, face forward, draped in soft fabric. He's got the sword of truth in one hand. This is the type of energy that doesn't necessarily need to force himself into anything. He's very secure in his truth. Mm-hmm. Swords are thoughts and ideas. It also represents air, as ideas and thoughts travel on the air. And to come with, we could do that. To come with him, we have kind of another fire energy there, Leo, of 2 elements coming together with water. So a emotional space coming together to become one when you're emotionally kind of connecting to somebody and expressing yourself in truth.
And you're listening as much as you're speaking.
Bingo. Mm-hmm. When you're listening as much as you're speaking, there's a conversation that happens and
a symbiosis. Yeah.
An agreement that can be happening through communication. But it's emotional communication. It's not communication of force and will. This is, love.
Stay in peace, fire signs. Right? Stay in peace. Look at how peaceful this looks.
Now, also recognize they're 2 different people here. They're 2 different costumes. They're 2 different colors. They're coming from 2 different areas. So if you recognize and listen to your other, you can come to an agreement and there's progress. I love that. Okay, so next is
Earth.
Oh, Earth. Taurus. Okay, Taurus.
Yeah, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
Wow, these big cards here. Okay, let's talk first about High Priestess, female pope. We have this female figure who's got ancient knowledge, kind of ancient.
Goes back so much further than Christianity or Judaism, or it's just ancient.
As far back as human consciousness can go back, 50,000 years or whatever that is, this is her. And she is kind of in that boundary of the veil. Here's the Masonic columns there, talking about electrical kind of energy. Mm-hmm. And
is it copper and bronze?
Copper and bronze, baby.
Yeah.
So now we have the Queen of Cups, and she is sitting on this.
Again, this is a very peaceful energy.
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't need to do anything. This is the only card with a cup that is covered.
Yeah.
Right? So
She's got a lid
this
on
tells
it.
me keep the lid on my communication, on my ideas, my thoughts, my words. Keep a lid on it. Just sit on it for a while. Mercury will go retrograde August 4th. But from now until then, it is a very jangled up time for communication. Like Cola Escola.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
like-
Yeah, let's all get our Cola Scola on and zip it for right now, because there's secrets. You've got secrets. There's things that aren't needing to be shared with other people. I like to think that the most important things in the world you never really talk about. So these are like really important
The most
times.
incredible growth happens in that dead black glacial silence, right?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, let yourself be these figures guarding your privacy for the time being as things are developing.
So air is so that's a
Gemini.
Libra, Aquarius.
Okay.
Gemini, Libra, Aquarius.
All these cards are totally on point. All right, so
Interesting, Evie.
right, and we're getting lots of kings and queens. Okay, here's another king. Okay, our wonderful air signs. Here is the King of Pentacles. This fellow is really kind of satisfied and calm again in their wealth, values, and prosperity. Pentacles represent not just money, but personal values.
Its values, and this is very much about the conjunction hitting Aquarius. You know, the fixed energy that we all must,
Pluto's there.
stubbornly, dig our feet in and say, no, I will not entertain you. I will only live for myself.
Right.
These are my values.
These are my values.
And if it means walking away from all your drama, so be it.
So be it. Because you're satisfied and you're confident in your personal values, you've got self-worth and self-respect.
It's almost like he's just playing with this pentacle on a chain, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of dangling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a playfulness happening there. And this is a very interesting card here. So we've got an eclipse that's happening. And there's a walking away because of an emotional satisfaction. You've gotten enough out of the situation. You can see what it is. You understand what it is. And you can kind of walk into a different realm because you're owning your own values. Right? Okay, water.
So water is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces.
Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay.
Yeah, this is how this season feels, right? It's like it's almost over and we're at the end of the cycle.
We're at the end of a cycle. Okay.
We're days from leaving Cancer.
Yeah. Tens. Tens are ends of cycles. So here we have this fellow.
Well, at least we're not waiting for the end anymore.
No, we're not waiting for the end anymore. Here we are at the end.
And the sun is coming up.
The sun is coming up.
Always does.
This fellow has been stabbed in the back, all over his body, and is kind of waiting the sun to come up for reincarnation into, boom. Okay, charity. So emotionally, so swords are thoughts, and we have these ideas, this cycle of ideas that's kind of run itself through.
Maybe just overthinking to the point of exhaustion. And we often overthink, and then we go, the hell did we waste all that time for? Nothing like what we were entertaining has come to pass.
Right.
But you get sick of it, and you have to collapse.
You get sick of it, you have to collapse. And what are the values that we learn from the collapse and the end of a cycle.
Yes. Do you feel like this person who is receiving? Do you feel like this person who is waiting?
Yeah.
Or do you feel lucky enough to be this person who is giving out?
Who's got
generously?
everything. Yeah.
Generously.
Generously.
But it just reminds me to do that nice thing for yourself when the worst of the worst has happened, to remember to buy yourself some flowers. Buy yourself, just a little gesture can get a energy vacuum going.
Yeah. That's right. A small, it's not monetary, it's a value gesture, a small gesture of
It's like a magic
compassion.
spell. It's a magic spell. It's like, I'm going to buy myself flowers even though I have no money at all.
Right.
I'm going to look at some nice flowers.
Yeah, I'm going to do something nice for myself because this cycle is over.
Yeah.
And we all need a little bit of charity and compassion in the world, and it has to start from
Especially
yourself.
just being kind to ourselves first.
Right. Like, don't make the phone call is going to be not well received. You're going to get the news that you don't want. Be nice and kind of call the people that love you and
Don't look
support.
for support where you've never gotten support before. That insane cycle, that thing that you keep doing, that we keep doing, that we think is going to be different this time. It's never different, right?
I think that's kind of it. Like, who supports you? Who in the world is supporting you and giving you the values that you need to move forward? Who is not supporting you? Where's the cycle, the systems of support, and go to those systems of support that refill our coffers.
Keep going where it's warm.
Yeah. And it's a well, it's a well that comes up in our heart, and you can just smile at somebody, and you can just say hello, and you can just wave friendly to your neighbor, and it really means not a lot because you don't know what they're going through. And by being this fellow, even though you might feel like this fellow,
Yeah.
you can really change the world.
Mm-hmm. You can, with small gestures and baby steps, somewhat faking it till you make it. But that really does.
It does.
That does work. But start with a smile. Start small.
Yes. Start with a smile. Start small.
Be very kind to yourself. Stay grounded in peace.
Yes. And for this,
remember, Scola says.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great video. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.